What time is it? What time is it? It's 2 a.m. It's 2 a.m. It's 2 a.m.
You gotta be the goofiest nigga in the world. Jesus Christ.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Welcome, guys, to the Two Awkward Millennials podcast. I am joined by my partner in argumentative banter. Okay. Can I do it again? I am joined by my partner in argumentative banter, Hendrix.
Hi.
All right. And I am KC, and the place to be in that place is my guest room. This is my guest room. The 2 a.m. podcast each and every Monday.
Look at that well.
Bring you our awkward take on our pop culture, life, love, and the millennial experience. Hendrix, are you going to let me get through anything? Because you couldn't even let me get through the intro.
Well, I was trying to help you from stumbling, like you were stumbling, but
because you was fucking me up.
No, you fucked yourself up.
Welcome, guys. Okay. Anyway, so what up, guy? I hope everybody's doing well. Hendrix, what's going on with you? You good? Besides trolling me so early on in the show, what's popping?
Nothing's popping at all. Just non-popping this way. Jesus.
It's really not anything popping. And today, I'm sorry, even as an Apple user, I want to let you know that PC won in that battle today. Just this particular evening, the battle between Apple and Microsoft, it went down today, and it was a loss.
Yeah, I'm ashamed of that. But
here we go. You know what I'm saying? Sounds like old times. Anyways, Hendrix, come on, what's popping? Come on, give us some insight into your life. What's going on?
I'm extremely fucking frustrated right now.
Me too.
But,
I don't know why.
Other than that, I'm cool. Literally cool. It's a little chilly in here. I ain't had no hoodie on, or no long sleeves. I'm just chilling.
I'm sorry. I actually made a new point to turn my heat down to like 70, just because I'd be hot and
just turn it into a Caucasian right before our very eyes.
No, because I thought my shit was low, and so people was talking about something they be having their shit on like 60 something. But no, I used to keep it on 72. It's only 2 degrees, but I guess that makes a difference. But I also really don't be, well, I can't say I don't be naked, but because I got a hoodie on right now. But that's it. So here we are.
So, yeah.
What's going on? What's popping? Music, movies, TV, video games, life. What's new in media for you?
I've kind of been out of the loop. Working through some internal issues. So
it's a joke there.
I don't have any insights. Yes, I get it. No, I really haven't been paying too much attention to TV or music. I know a lot of music came out, but I didn't check any of it out. I haven't really been listening to a lot of new music. I still haven't listened to Lil Wayne's album because it's 2020. Like, no, thank you. Sorry.
Wow, somebody's gonna beat your ass for that hot take.
It's cool. Like I
haven't heard any of it either, but I'm also that's just not necessarily my bag per se.
If you want to watch the Vince Carter of rap in 2020, y'all can go ahead.
I don't know what that reference means, but
Vince Carter's still playing. Lil Wayne is still rapping. They both started at the same
Wait, Vince
time.
Carter still plays?
Exactly.
Oh,
that was.
I thought he was like a commentator.
Exactly my point. No, that nigga's out there dunking on
like
occasion.
50?
He's
right.
43, I believe. 42,
close.
Something like that.
Okay, well, shout out to Vince Carter. I, for whatever reason, didn't think he still played. I thought he retired. Because I've just been hearing that shit for like decades. Yes, I feel like at this point.
Vince Carter is 43 years old.
But yeah, I don't have anything negative to say about Lil Wayne, but I also have no interest in hearing this album. The last album I bought of Lil Wayne's was I Am Not a Human Being, and if you heard that album, you know why. I don't care to hear anything else that he releases.
Yeah, that would probably leave you on a sour note, honestly.
Yeah, no, seriously, I'm good. I'm actually great. So yeah. As far as music, it's a whole lot of random artists. Like, I like this is the playlist era, and it's always like you can find little random songs, little random artists that might not be mainstream. And I've been coming across a lot of people like that. Like, that's how I found Division. That's how I found 1111. I would have put Lucky Day in that pile a while ago, but not now. I feel like he's a little bit more mainstream.
He got a Grammy nomination.
Exactly. So he's no longer in that conversation. But it's a few others, and this is one song I can't remember the name of. But it's a couple songs that I really like. I actually can't remember the artist's name. I think her name is like Ayanis or whatever. She has a couple songs that I really, really enjoy. I think that's her name. I hope I'm not fucking it up. Yeah, I think, yeah, Aynis or something like that. She has a couple songs I really like. Her single with Wiz Khalifa or whatever. I really like that song or whatever. And it's just a couple other small artists like that. Not a small artist because she won like 15 Grammys, but I really like Billie Eilish, whatever. I don't really, I know that was an issue. We kind of talked about that briefly last week or whatever. But just like, I guess I kind of like the indie kind of, you know, that sound. But you want to know who I cannot get into and everyone loves?
Who is that?
Snow.
Really?
Yeah, she does not appeal. There's something about her sound that does not appeal to me at all.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess my fandom of her is like, that's kind of like similar to how I felt about Sade, like growing up. Like,
but see, I mean, my dad used to play Sade, like back in the day, like the big tall speakers everybody had, you know what I'm saying? Like on a real entertainment center that was like 15 pieces. I remember listening to Sade when I was younger, but I don't get that vibe from her. Like, it doesn't seem it for me, and this is a personal opinion, drag me if you want. I could really care less. You'll waste your words and your time and your energy. But it's no soul in her music for me. Sorry. It just feels like a poppy version of like Ari or something. Like, it does not resonate for me. Like, I don't know. It's just no like meat in her voice or something. I don't know what it is. I have no idea what it is. But it's just like every time because people love her and like they're all obsessed, and I'll like download her stuff, and I'm just like completely disinterested. For whatever reason, like, I have it on my phone, but every time it comes on, I just skip through it. So, yeah, that's that. I don't know why, but I have not been able to get into her. I've been trying, because, like, and that's another thing for me, too, is that I usually come across music organically, and when I never came across her music, people told me about it, and so, for me, it was already hyped up.
Right.
So, when I heard it, it was just kind of like, meh. Like, I just didn't really do nothing for me, personally.
I do have one musical note. It is a song called, was it Speed Me Up? It is from the Sonic the Hedgehog movie soundtrack. It is one of the most feel-good songs I've heard in a while. It's a star-studded cast. It's Wiz Khalifa, Lil Yachty, Ty Dolla $ign. It's it's a movie soundtrack song, so it's like very upbeat. Yeah, and it's been really, really satisfying. And I've just been really playing that song over and over and over again. So if you're interested in, you feel shitty and you want to get like a nice little pick-me-up, go ahead and download it. Speed Me Up. Very good song.
But the other songs that I was listening to, her name is Ayanis. It's called One Night, featuring Wiz Khalifa, if you want to check that out.
Look at the correlation there.
I really like 11, the new Khalid song.
Khalid's an adult now. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I have these Snow Allegra songs on here. Maybe somebody can give me another suggestion, but like, Find Someone Like You, Fool for You, and I Want You Around. Absolutely do none of these things for me. Earth Gang, fucking amazing. Their song Trippin' featuring Kalani, and it's another one. Oh shit, what is the name of that fucking song? Pussy on Repeat. That's my shit. Beautiful fucking song. Well, I don't know if beautiful is the word for Pussy on Repeat. But it's my shit. So, just like little like artists like that, like, even though I know Earth Gang is a little bit more mainstream, but I fuck with them too. So if you find those, like, it's like Spotify has really good playlist. This is not an ad. If you want to give us a Spotify deal, go ahead. But this is not an ad. But Spotify has really, really good playlists. People always be looking like, why do you have Spotify and not Apple Music? I actually have both. But I use
shit off, then.
Spotify. What?
Rich ass nigga.
I think I get Apple Music for free from like Verizon or something. But yeah, I like Spotify. They have really good, really dope playlists, and it's worth checking out.
I tried Apple Music earlier, like in the summertime. That's just not good.
It's honestly, Hendrix is the one who got me on Spotify, because I used to have, Cause when at first that transition happened where for a while you really didn't need streaming. You was still like putting music on your phone. Like, you know what I mean? Like you was still putting music on your phone. And so for a while I had music on my phone, and then the Apple Music streaming service came out, and I was using that, but it was free. I think when it first came out, you got like 4 months or some shit. And I was using that, and then it expired. And I think I just started listening to like Pandora and shit. Cause I remember this when I was working.
Wow.
And so I started listening to Pandora and shit, which is also almost kind of obsolete. And then, after switching from that, I think around that time I met No. And I just ended up, he was like, Spotify is where it's at. And so I've had Spotify ever since. And to me, I don't know what it is. It just seems way more user friendly.
They actually care about you. Okay. So
they make a point. I think that's the thing that makes it unique. Like, whereas like, it's just like, it's a array of music on, Apple and all those things like that. Those are the only things, in my opinion, the things that are great about having Apple or having Tidal is the exclusives. But lately, those are few and far between anyway. So it's not as relevant. But that was the only thing that was like, oh, damn, I want Tidal because this is coming out. Or damn, I want, Apple Music because they're releasing on this. But it's like when you think about like that one day that they didn't release on all the platforms, or something like, if you're a Beyonce fan and it took her motherfucking like 3 years to put Lemonade on fucking Spotify.
So
like shit like that. I mean, I don't care. I literally just bought the album. Like I just bought it. It was just like, it's just not that deep. I just bought it. So yeah, it just really depends on, what you want. But, I prefer Spotify. It definitely is more personal. Like it's more specific to you. Like they'll like once you download music and you start making playlists, they'll start making you playlists. Like, these are all the songs that you like, or this is kind of, or we think that you would like this. And I think that all the other streaming services don't really suggest you music based off the stuff that you listen to in that same capacity. But what do I know? What the fuck do I know? I did not see Birds of Prey. Is that what it's called?
Birds of Prey.
Yes. I did not see that. I heard that it had really bad opening week. I honestly didn't even know it came out. I was talking to my best friend about this, and I was like, I really have heard more about the music and the soundtrack than about the actual movie. Like, only thing I knew about it was like Normani and like, I think Summer dropped a song for it, and like Normani and Megan and all this like that. Like, I actually forgot that all of this was for a movie in that process. Like, cause I didn't really see like previews or anything. I only saw stuff like that in regards to the music or the soundtrack. So I was not invested in it at all. And I like superhero movies, even though this is like what, a anti-hero villain type of thing. I like superhero movies, but I had no interest in this. And I know in that whole Marvel DC debate, DC literally struggles the entire time, and they usually miss.
I mean, in this case particularly, they didn't really promote it.
Yeah, okay. I'm making sure it's not just me. I'm like, is it because I don't watch TV or
struggle at?
Promotion.
Like, you see Marvel shit all day, every day.
Yeah, that's true.
Their budget for marketing is incredible. But with this, I literally saw 2 commercials for it and didn't know the date of release.
Yeah, I didn't know when it came out either. And that's another thing. It's funny. I'm sorry. Excuse me. It's on my bedtime. I was talking to my best friend, and she was saying, like, when you think, she's like, it's crazy that Marvel does so much better than what? It's crazy that Marvel does so much better than DC. It was like, but when she was like, when I was growing up and I was younger, I was completely just like not invested in Marvel. It was like, I didn't know anything about that. Like, when you thought superheroes, you thought Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. And I'm like, I guess I didn't really think about that. I was like, yeah, because I guess the only person I really knew from Marvel when I was younger was like Spider-Man. I didn't really hear about Iron Man till that movie came out, or Thor, or all this like that, because obviously I wasn't into comics. You know what I mean? It's like, if you've been a comic nerd since you were younger, it doesn't apply to you. But the average person that does not sit up in their younger years and read comic books, like, you really would like they had Justice League as a TV show, and like they had Batman and Robin cartoons and Wonder Woman and Superman shows and cartoons and stuff like that. So it's like you had some background to that. I didn't really know about Marvel characters when I was younger outside of Spider-Man. So I was like, I didn't even think about that, but I guess she's right. But for whatever reason, Marvel has been kicking ass in this day and age. And I mean, obviously it really just comes down to, unfortunately, their stuff is just better most of the time, outside of like, I would say maybe like the Dark Knight series. Most of the shit that DC has released, movie-wise. Like, their shows are good, I think. Yeah, their shows are okay. But in comparison, most of the movies they release are horrible. Well, not horrible, but they're just not as good. They kind of missed the mark. And I don't even think they're bad movies. I think that they're bad movies in comparison to Marvel movies. You get what I mean?
I mean, most of the DC movies are incomplete movies anyway because they have so much politics and shit going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So they're not really allowed the creative freedom that a lot of the Marvel producers are allowed. You know, they can pretty much just make, you know, hey, here goes $300 million. Do whatever you need to do to make this the most incredible movie of all time and go with it.
Yeah.
Like, because we're going to make at least $1 billion back. So, yeah, here you go. We can have this. Go ahead and do what you got to do. DC, on the other hand, they have, like, you know, they created whole movies and fired the director of the movie, like, halfway through, you know, at the end. Like, so now you got to redo the movie, cut shit up and all that. So, hashtag release the Snyder cut, you know, for all the comic book nerds and shit like that.
Yeah,
I didn't grow up into comic books at all, so I've been doing, like, a lot of this shit is still new to me. So yeah, I mean, I can understand the DC Marvel debate, but I mean, most of that shit is like the same. Like, it's more elements of spectacular on Marvel side. But yeah, I think I was having a conversation with my friend the other day, and I was just explaining how I've now seen, like, Endgame 4 times, and it's not a good movie. Like, it's not. I'm sorry. Like, I thought, you know, falling asleep on it in the theater was like an anomaly. Like, oh yeah, you know, I was a little intoxicated, so maybe that added to it. But no, it's not a good movie. Sorry. So, what other TV shows to wrap this segment up? What you been watching?
I've been watching a lot of shit on Netflix. A couple stuff. A couple things I didn't watch for long because it wasn't in English. It was, but it was in that dubbed over bullshit that I hate so much. I had to, and I mean, honestly, Netflix, y'all do really good with the shows, but y'all gotta just let some of that shit go. Some of that dubbed over shit, like, it's not even worth it. Just let's let it stay in whatever fucking country it belongs to. I don't want to see that, like, that old shit. Like, it may remind me of old karate movies. Like, it's not even worth it. Especially, like, and the acting, the voice acting that y'all use to dub over be so bad that it's like, it makes the whole show corny. Because the voiceover acting is so bad. So it's like, just save y'all money. Yeah.
When in doubt, closed caption.
Yeah, just say it. And I watch shows, like, I think it's people who passively and actively watch shows. I watch shows too passively, to watch a lot of, like, dubbed over shows.
Alright.
So I wouldn't recommend it, but whatever. But I've been watching this show called Lock and Key. It's really good. It's kind of like thriller, drama-ish. It's good. It's really good. I would suggest that to anybody. I'm still rewatching Glee, but I don't really cares about that. Sex Education, I still on episode 1 of that. I don't know, stuff be throwing me off on this. The show that I was watching that was dubbed over was Mortel. It took me a while to realize it was dubbed over, and I was just over it. And then the other one I was watching was The Stranger. That was actually in English, but it just, like, it honestly, stuff has about a good, like, 5 minutes to catch me, and if I don't, like, want to keep watching or interested in what happens next, I'll turn off of it. So yeah, that's what I got so far. That's pretty much what I've been watching. I haven't really watched anything on TV. I'm behind on everything that I watch on TV. Literally, A Million Little Things. What's the other one? This Is Us. I ain't watched that shit in years. Grey's Anatomy. I'm behind on that. Like, I'm behind on everything I used to watch on TV. Like, it's probably like seasons of shit on my DVR. So yeah, behind on a lot of that shit. But I think that's it. I'm definitely interested to go see Issa Rae's new movie, The Photograph.
Yeah.
With Lakeith Fine-Ass this weekend. Unfortunately, it's the weekend for all you lovers and Valentiners. And so I'm gonna try to go Thursday after work. But my best friend is also moving on Thursday, so I'm gonna have to try to finagle that some way so I can avoid all you couples at the movies. And hopefully, I mean, it is a black movie and I live in the suburbs, so hopefully it won't be that crowded. Not wishing them a bad weekend, but out here. That. So yeah.
You're just getting your whole entire wealthy shit off this episode.
What are you talking about?
Nothing. Let it continue.
I'm impoverished. I'm just saying, I hope that, I'm going to try to go on Thursday. So I'm going to probably go help my friend, go get off work, help my friend, whatever. Not even probably help her because they're actually probably done by the time I get off work 3:30. But I'm probably going to go see her and then I'll probably go to the movies just so I can go before all you lovers decide to fucking canoodle in the theater and bring all that love shit in the air. Gross. And I'm actually excited for Valentine's Day so I can find out how many people, again, just like Sweetest Day, are actually in relationships and in my DMs. And, we can do, we can, like, oh, y'all cute. I didn't know you even had a girlfriend.
No, that was just my little Valentine's Day thing because you said you didn't want to go out with me, so, you know.
Mm-hmm. I actually have plans to go out. I'm in this dating group on Facebook, and all the singles are going out for drinks. I'm going to go to that alone with them. So, because I ain't got shit else to do.
The fuck did Black China do to her face? Jesus Christ.
I'm not touching that right now.
And
I'm taking my ass at DR right now. On my way.
Why is she at the Oscar?
It's time to catch a flight.
why is she at the Oscar?
And remember, millennials, when you go get your surgery, don't touch your face, please. So yeah, I think that's it.
That's not good advice.
Why?
Some niggas need to touch their face.
No, because at the bare minimum, God made your face in his image.
Okay.
Not this body though, but the face.
Okay.
So I'm gonna leave you down that
All right. So we're gonna get into some quick topics right quick. Kobe Bryant Memorial is set for February 24th at the Staples Center. It's a lot of coinky dinks going on with the whole Kobe tragedy, and I don't like it.
We talked about this last week, then. Someone could be a conspiracy theorist.
But now, the memorial being set for 2/24. Like I said, the All-Star game, the players are, one team is going to be a team of 24s, the other team is going to be a team of 2 because Gianna's number was 2, Kobe's number was 24, memorial on 2/24, you know what I'm saying, insert Dr. Umar meme here. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's just kind of, it's way too coincidental, like that's crazy. Not saying it in a bad way, but yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, I'm leaving it alone. I just don't honestly care enough.
It's crazy.
I'm leaving it alone because I don't think it's one of them things where it's like intentional, like, oh my God, it's the fucking Illuminati. No. I just think it's just like, to me, I just feel like it made sense. Like, oh my gosh, it's February. We can wait till the 24th. More so, I think it's more so like that than like, oh my God, we killed them so we can have it. Like, I don't know what the fuck kind of ridiculous conspiracy theory people are doing. But to me, it just seems like it was like, oh my God, we can wait till the 24th. Haha, till 24. They can wear 2 and 24s. Like, more so like that than it being like,
that's exactly what I just
said. The devil was coming to attack us or some shit. Whatever the fucking weird shit y'all be talking about.
That's exactly
or
what
the
I
man.
Just said.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. I say it's way too many quinkydinks. Like, the other day, LeBron James did the exact same dunk that Kobe did, like 19 years apart. I mean, something weird like that. 10 years apart or some shit.
But I'm like, is it coinkydink or did he do it on purpose? That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that's what I'm talking about. Like, the same thing with this dates and the dirt. Like, is it a coinkydink or did they do it on purpose? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think, but I'm also not a conspiracy theorist. So.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a regular person.
Just always think. Speaking of Kobe, this is tough. We're gonna get into the Gayle King.
We're not getting into
Lisa
anything.
Leslie interview topic. So
take it away.
CBS released a snippet of Gayle King interviewing Hall of Fame basketball player Lisa Leslie, and during this snippet in particular, because nobody really cared to see the whole interview outside of this snippet. I don't even know if it's available now.
I think it's on YouTube.
I'm not watching it because, whatever. So, Gayle King asked Lisa Leslie if she felt uncomfortable being a friend of Kobe Bryant amid his sexual assault allegations. Now, if this was in 2002 or no, 2004, cool. But it's 2020, and unfortunately, Kobe just passed away. So, of course, it wasn't received well. And also, you're asking one of his long-standing female friends about him being a sexual abuser. I don't really think that would have went the right way, regardless of the situation. Props to Lisa Leslie for handling that question very, 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 very well. She basically said, like, I didn't see it. Like, he wasn't that type of guy. I know people who do that kind of thing. Like, I have friends in the industry that does that kind of thing. So, yeah, it was a lot of backlash, against Gayle King. There was a lot of support too. The one thing I will say is I'm not going to criticize her She's earned, it's funny because
she earned what? What did she earn?
Wait. I'm explaining. It's funny because 6 months ago, it was a complete 180, and we praised Gayle King so highly for her work with Robert Kelly. Her poise and dignity and, steadfastness while she interviewed R. Kelly, and he was going ape shit and having a conniption and shit during their whole interview. Yes, Kenise.
Okay. Pardon my ignorance. She's a journalist?
When you're friends with Oprah, you can be whatever the fuck.
Okay, so that's
be.
back to my point. That's why I said pardon my ignorance. I'm sorry. I didn't watch the Surviving R. Kelly shit. I've known this nigga. Known this nigga was a trash bag for like a few decades at this point now. So I didn't really think anything. Like, I didn't see that interview that he did with her.
You saw the clips, though.
I seen some of the clips, and I seen the clips.
All right.
And I know people was like, applauding her, I guess, for maintaining her composure or something. But actually, to be completely honest with you, I didn't know it was her. I thought it was like an actual journalist. And this is why I also said pardon my ignorance, because I didn't know she actually had a job. I didn't know she was famous for anything except for being Oprah's best friend. So I was actually trying to understand why she was interviewing Lisa Leslie at all. So I'm serious. I actually didn't even know her last name. I thought her name was just Gayle Winfrey. I actually didn't know. So I'm sorry. Sorry to that woman. I didn't know. What? I didn't. I'm so serious. Same thing with her. Did her boyfriend, do he do anything? Or is he just her boyfriend?
Stem is a lawyer.
Debatable.
He was a lawyer.
Who knows that?
Way before he met Oprah.
Okay, well, I ain't know that.
Originally, he was the come up.
Listen here. Listen, Linda, listen. I have no motherfucking... I just thought these people were just affiliated with her.
She's actually been the co-host on CBS This Morning since 2012. Okay,
so Oprah got her a job.
She is also the editor at large for the old magazine.
We don't read magazines. Oh, it's okay, so she gave her a job again. All right, so she really don't have no job or no skills. Like, just if you saw all the jobs that Oprah gave her, like, she works at OWN and she works on the magazine. Like,
I didn't want to do that. Look,
I would employ my friends too.
Look, nigga, all right, look,
nigga.
Look.
As soon as this fucking LLC pop off, nigga, you get a job.
Look, man.
Put you on payroll as my confidant.
More importantly than this, before we get to the Snoop Dogg commentary, it brought light to the fact that Gayle King and her very best friend, Oprah Winfrey, are not very supportive
of the black community.
Of black men, but the black community at large. Don't believe the
wealth
hype.
Will do that to you.
Don't believe the hype. Don't let little shit.
They're not trying to fix anything, except I think Guyana. Trying to fix lives. But them, on the other hand, or nothing, they're just trying to set us back. The same thing with like Bill Cosby. Sorry. Okay, you can finish. I said I actually didn't have anything to add, so I'm gonna be quiet like I planned in the beginning of this segment.
But yeah, I mean, I've been off of Oprah for my entire life. Well, actually, no. It started with the whole Ludacris thing where she pretty much brought him on the show as he was transitioning into an actor and berated him for his rap music, even though he was transitioning to being an actor.
She did what?
You remember the movie Crash?
Mm-hmm.
They had the cast on the Oprah Winfrey Show when it was actually a show, and she's going around with everybody, all the actors, and giving them praise and this and this. And when they got to Ludacris, it was like, oh, well, you call women bitches and hoes and shit. Like,
you are a bitch.
It's like, we're here talking about a movie, my nigga. Like, what are you talking about? But yeah, Oprah Winfrey falls into the Bill Cosby category.
She does. She does to me too. I mean, honestly, I never really liked her. Like, I know she was always a pillar of excellence and like excellence on that shit for most people. But I never really fucked with her because she gave me Bill Cosby vibes, and it's like that elitist bullshit. Like, I made it, and you need to put like that very like fuck you niggers mindset that I got from her. So she was never really the pillar of anything great for me. I didn't look at her like that. She's really more coonish, and appeasing to the whites. So
it wasn't a lot of niggas getting free cars. Let's just put it like that.
I mean, yeah, I don't think she was ever really for us. Never, ever, actually. Never.
Yeah. So, it reaffirms the fact that they are for who they are for.
The whites.
I mean, they're subjective with their black associates and shit. Like, they love Tyler
people
Perry.
that are okay with the whites. Well, not sometimes. I don't know about Tyler. Tyler is
let's stop.
Another slippery slope.
So, before I go there.
But he's okay with another minority group.
Okay. All right. So, Snoop Dogg used some very suggestive words in talking about the clip that he saw, and he called Gayle King out of her name.
He called her like a punk ass bitch or something. What do you call her?
You know, Uncle Snoop, when he gets on his medicine, you know, he
we made me chill.
See, smoked the wrong strand that day. He just had some very harsh words.
Some choice words. Let's get on our Oprah shit.
And he faced some backlash to it. I mean,
did he?
We're all they were very upset about that.
Oh yeah, because they were just like, oh, we're gonna let him talk about women, and it's just like, she's not a woman. First of all, she's just Oprah's best friend. And if you do something fucked up, you can't just decide to throw gender into it. It's kind of like if you do something bad or good, you can't excuse it with other bullshit narratives. Like, I know I talked about this last week. I'm sorry. I'm actually trying to be serious, but I'm still on bullshit from earlier. Anyways, listen.
Not at all.
I guess she's a woman. Fine. I'm saying, I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming. I'm saying like this. You know how last week I was talking about Tyler, and I was saying how people were trying to say that he won because he was gay. It's kind of like you're using someone's other thing.
Wait, I mean,
what?
Nothing.
Yeah, pause. You're using someone's other thing to excuse their greatness, and in reverse, like this with the Gayle thing, like she's a fucking cunt bitch, and you're using her womanness to excuse her behavior, and I don't think that's okay. I don't know if she's a cunt bitch, but I'm assuming, and I have the right to say that because I'm a woman, so I can say what I want like that. See, that's also not okay to say out loud. Come on, Hendrix, what do you have to add?
No, I was gonna make a joke, but
what you about to say? I took my classes also. I can't
about the whole Tyler, the creative thing,
what?
Creator thing, and I was like, well, you know, Luther Vandross got a couple, but you know, that's not saying much.
He was gay when he was fat or skinny.
Both.
You going to hell?
Anyways, yeah. Snoop has since said that he wasn't using threatening language towards Gayle, but he was simply expressing the way he felt about the interview, and that is his right, which he's 100% completely in the right to do. It was unnecessary, especially to put one of Kobe's friends in that situation, and to be talking about some bad shit so near in the aftermath of his demise. So it was very tasteless.
I was like, say it's in poor taste at the very least.
It was very tasteless, but this is what society is in 2020. We like to make things very clippable. So you get a clip to get clicks. And
I hate when people try to sound smart.
Push it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean.
Not you. Sorry, this guy.
I'm doing my best. I swear to God. It wasn't necessary at all. Just, you know, interview Lisa Leslie and don't bring up Kobe next time. The other story that took over the world this week is Twitter war of the exes between Nicki Minaj and Meek Mill. I don't know exactly why this happened, but I know I was glued to my timeline to watch the results. You know, I think we talk about this recently, like having those decent relationships with people that you have been in a relationship with in the past, and just, you know, it's okay to be cool and not, you know, air out people's dirty laundry when you get upset, but that's exactly what they did. Coming off the I guess the boutique argument separation incident during Grammy weekend, Nicki and Meek took to Twitter and exposed skeletons that didn't need to be exposed at all. I will say Meek made very valid points about some of the people that Nicki Minaj keeps around her, including her brother and her husband, both being linked to some sexual misconduct in their past, one with minors, which is increasingly terrible. But I just don't get how it really goes to show like what celebrities are. Celebrities are just regular corny ass people with a shit ton of money. That's all it is. Like, this is some shit that people from my peer group in my city would do. We have that shit happen at least one or two times a week. But that's the one
thing I feel like people have to realize and understand. First of all, definitely Team Meek, fucking Nicki Minaj. But I really feel like what people have to realize and understand at the end of the fucking day is that these people are human. So just like the childish ass motherfucking shit that goes on in your hometown with the locals and the ratchets in the slums of whatever city you're from or whatever city you moved from, nigga. It's the same kind of shit. Like,
you didn't go.
Well, you know.
People outrun their problems, huh?
You said what?
People always trying to outrun their problems.
Yeah, you know niggas with they try to move in for a better life. I'm so tired of everybody in Detroit and Atlanta. Like, nigga, it's the same. They all down there. Y'all the same niggas. It's down there. Anyways, listen. All I'm saying is this. It's the same shit. Like, all these people are human. So, like, yes, they have a whole bunch of money. They don't have the problems that you have while you're sitting here trying to steal motherfucking buffs off somebody's face and you're trying to feed your 18 fucking kids. These people they're just rich, but they're still childish and immature and just not have no personal growth or, like, everything like that. Because I think me and Hendrix was talking about this, and I was just like, I don't care how much surgery Nicki Minaj doing, how much money she make. At the end of the day, she is still a hood rat. Like, she's not going to be anything more than a hood rat. Like, anytime like, I used to be a fan of Nicki Minaj. Like, not like y'all bitches that are childish because of that Hive shit, that Barb, Beehive, Drake Hive, Debbie Dad Hive, I mean, the Future Hive, all that shit. At the end of the day, like, y'all need to grow up. Like, don't y'all got kids or jobs or something? Okay.
Hey, wait a minute.
I would never do any of that. Because I'm grown. But the whole, I don't give a fuck about people who don't give a fuck about me. These people don't know y'all really like, okay, cool. You're still poor, right? They're not helping you. So I would never subscribe to that shit. So what are you doing? Anyways, I would never subscribe to that. So this whole thing with, she's just a hood rat. Like, when she was going through that shit with, like, when she was on JBP, she was just being loud and obnoxious, and even on her show, loud, obnoxious, not letting anybody talk, being really rude. I mean, she's been like this forever. Same thing with, like, when she was on American Idol and being disrespectful to Mariah Carey, or when she was harassing everybody else he harassed. So here's the thing. She came up in a time where before social media pop, like before people had personalities, you know what I'm saying? Before you had to be in communication with your fans or anything like that. So it's like everybody was just standing for her music. And I admit, I liked some of her music until she started talking. You know what I mean? And she started talking. And so it was just like, wow, shut up. Shut up. Like, some people are endearing and they have, like, nice personalities, and, like, they could, like, Cardi B, like, we like her because, like, no matter if y'all say that she don't write her music or not, like, she's an endearing person, right? You want Nicki Minaj to shut up, to shut the fuck up, please. Because she's just always extremely loud and extremely ghetto. Like, how is it a rich person I don't want to take you anywhere? I still wouldn't take her in public because she's obnoxious. Like, even in the background in the video from last week or week before last when they was in the store, just like, I'ma get my man a peach hoe ass, like that ratchet ass shit that you only think of in, like, Boys in the Hood or something like that. What? It's just kind of, I never seen that movie. But it's about the ghetto, right? That dashiki shit. Y'all seen Nobia. That's what I imagine from her, and that's all you get. So you can give the hood rat money, you can give her implants, you can give her body contouring, but you really cannot make them classy. Period. So that's all I'm saying.
Why would you say period?
Period. That's all I'm saying. So I stay with Meek.
I mean, it's unnecessary. Like I said,
it is unnecessary.
It's weird watching celebrities act
but
normal.
They're human.
Right, but they put themselves in a position where they act like they're better than us regular people, even though they're not. And a lot of people see through the bullshit. But yeah, you can't put yourself on that pedestal and then climb back down and be on our level. So yeah, that whole thing was interesting. Very, very unnecessary. I think that's the word of the week. Is a lot of this shit is unnecessary that people are out here doing. But yeah, that's topics for this week. Unless Casey had anything.
No, I don't have a topic, but I had a couple points. Well, I don't know if I should share it. Say the actual topic. I mean, should I say that? Should I just?
Oh wait, no, the bottom line.
Oh.
All right, so earlier this week, I guess after Grammy night, Megan Thee Stallion and G-Eazy set social media ablaze with a video of them. I guess they were cuddling, being friendly.
He was just kissing on her, Fenty, like she said.
Yeah. I didn't have an issue with it. Like, she's entitled to do what she want to do. But I did have an issue with the fallout from it. I don't understand how, when things like this happen, I think I actually tweeted, like, I love when things bring out the stupid in people. Because a lot of you, I'm sorry. You're not stupid.
No, they are. Why are you apologizing?
You act stupid sometimes. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt.
People look correct?
No, I'm giving people the benefit of the doubt. I'm giving people the benefit of the doubt. You're not stupid. You just act stupid a lot. And a lot of people just took that shit and, oh, yeah, you know, she a white man, or, ooh, how many guys is that in the last year? Did she, like, look, bro, it's okay. Just let people be people, because, you know, that whole back and forth, and that's how niggas talk, that whole body count conversation, which is stupid, because we're all grown and nobody really needs to know, nigga. Like, the scales is never gonna be equal. So just don't fuck with the scales. Leave it alone.
What we talking about? Why black men hating black women?
No, that's not why we were talking.
I'm sorry, I missed it. My bad.
Yeah, but just she's doing what the fuck she's doing, and if it was something,
she's
there,
just out here living
there.
her motherfucking life. They wasn't even dating or couldn't. Like, damn, you ain't never had nobody lick your makeup off drunk. Me either. But at the end of the day or whatever, she's grown as fuck. She can do whatever. Andres, what? She can do whatever the fuck she wants. Leave her alone. And I mean, it's like, honestly, because like when I say everybody reacting to it, I had to go find a video. I thought it was more than one. I'm like, at no point did he kiss her in the mouth. He was just licking her face.
Look, fellas, we all been drunk. You got that one girl at the club that you know really feeling.
And I mean, and honestly, that's the thing. Like, if anything, I thought it was. I'm sorry in advance. I mean, if anything, this was very indicative of a regular drunk night. Like, black people don't necessarily make out like that, like when they drunk, but that's the first thing white people want to do. And so he probably did want to make out, but she wasn't going to kiss him back. So he made out with her face, because that's what they do when they're drunk. I went to a PWI. I know. The
amount of white tongues I've avoided in my time.
And the
crazy.
ones you didn't. Yeah. Period.
That was alley-oop.
So Hendrix know firsthand. Okay? So at the end of the day, listen.
That was alley-oop.
It was just...
I'm ashamed of myself. That was way too easy. Jesus Christ.
Period. All right, sorry. But yeah, let that man lick her makeup in peace, okay? And then like his girlfriend was all salty, like, girl, he'll be home in the morning. All right, just let it go.
You can't say that.
Why?
Because if you see the picture of your nigga licking
he
somebody
wouldn't
else,
be my nigga.
Okay, so you can't say just chill.
But I'm saying, like, but that's the thing, though. You look dumb. Okay, listen. I was trying to talk to my friend like this. I was trying to talk to one of my friends about this the other day. Tamar said this a long, long time ago. I don't know. Nobody likes Tamar but me. She said this a very, very long time ago, and I completely believe it. And somebody, probably some woman that's going through this right now, is going to be upset. But hear me out, sis. If that man is already out here making you look dumb as fuck, and all you got for him when he come back is a conversation about it, just shut up. Just shut the fuck up. If you're not going to do anything about it but lecture him to death, and you going to stay, let that man cheat in peace. Just let him cheat in peace. You're not going anywhere. So you're either going to act or react, right?
Yeah, I see what you doing.
Get the fuck on.
Yeah, I see what you
Just
doing.
go. What?
Casey's being very male friendly this episode.
I'm not. I believe this. Oh, I honestly believe it. Like, why am I going to keep lecturing about the same shit if I'm going to keep letting you get away with it? Like, I'm either going to tolerate it or I'm not. Like, I see this person, I'm with this person, I care about this person, they keep disrespecting me. I'm going to lecture them to death and hope that they change. No, bitch, I'm getting the fuck on. Fuck you. Fooled me twice. I'm out of here. Nigga, fuck out of here.
I don't
like,
think that's how that goes.
No, because I think it's like, shame on you. Yeah, the second one is shame on me. I'm gone. Nigga, shame on me leaving. Nigga, I'm gone. Is what I'm saying. Well, actually, that's not true. I'm leaving the first time. But
Speak on it.
the rest of the people, they might stay, okay? But like I'm saying, if you're not, no, seriously, ladies, the only thing you should stay around for is change behavior. And if that nigga gets out here disrespecting you, then that's your dumb ass fault. And so I'm like I said, if you're not going to leave or you're not going to do something about it, shut the fuck up. Because you're at the end of the day, you're just wasting your breath. You're going to lose your breath. You'll lose your fucking voice, just yelling and screaming and get the fuck off or shut up. So yeah. I'm sorry, I actually kind of, because I don't understand that. Like, oh my God, y'all arguing, y'all always bicker, and he always cheat on you. It's just like, what are y'all in a relationship for? Wow.
I've learned some people like that type of shit.
No, some people do like dysfunction. And I mean, but it comes from a place of, if you've never really seen, love. Like, I'm reading this book, and I've been following this lady on, social media. Her name is Shannon Boudram. She has a YouTube, and she has Instagram. Oh, sorry. And she wrote a book or whatever that I just bought. Like, I actually bought a hardcover book. I went to the bookstore. It is very few of those around nowadays, sadly. But yes. She was just saying, like, we as people lose our thoughts. I lost my train of thought, so fuck it. But follow her on Instagram. She made a really good, a lot of great points. But no, she made a lot of good points. Fuck. I completely forgot. What was I talking about? Shit.
So follow her on Instagram. Movie.
What was I saying though? What was I talking about?
You was talking about how people stay instead of leaving when they have an issue, and just how a lot of women tend to talk to a man instead of actually changing their actions based on a man's actions.
I still not getting it back.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. So
this is all true. But yeah, no, follow her. She gives like relationship and relationship counseling and like loving yourself and like sex counseling and all of those things. I can't remember where I was going with this. Last week, Hitcher said I had the memory of a dodo bird, and now you've all seen it. I really don't remember what I was talking about.
Mid fucking mini rant.
Like, I'm like, oh yeah, damn, I forgot what I was talking about. It went away. It completely left. But in that same vein, women, just love yourself. Love yourself enough to get the fuck on, okay? And not stay unless you want to. But then you have to shut up about it. So you choose.
Moving along.
Okay, what else are you about to talk about? Oh, what did you think about the other part? Just a topic?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool beans.
All right, so speaking of topics, we're going to get into our main topic for this week. And I got this topic from just looking at a lot of people in my peer group and just how they've been moving in their relationships. And the topic this week is cohabitating.
Yay, no.
Exactly the response of most people when this subject comes up. So a couple of the things that I wanted to touch on is, do you feel like you have to cohabitate in order to have a successful relationship? Or also, do you feel like cohabitation leads to a lot of unsuccessful relationships? Casey, you have cohabitated before. How do you feel?
Me? I completely think it depends on the people involved, like most things. Yes, it completely depends on the people involved. Now, for I'll give a little background on my personal experience with cohabitating.
Oh, wait, we're gonna get there.
I'm gonna say, because you have more experience than I do. Yes.
Okay.
I've only cohabitated once.
Okay. I guess.
Nigga, you do.
Get to your point.
Okay, because you told me to wait. All right, so in my opinion, I think that it completely depends on your relationship. Now, I know people that are completely fine with never living with their mate ever. until they'll get married, you know? And if that's for you, it's for you. I will say this. Since I have cohabitated before, my perception on it has changed. My perspective on it has changed. I don't necessarily think it is necessary for an extremely long period of time. So the next time I cohabitate, it would be for two reasons. It would probably either be out of sheer convenience. And what I mean by that is like we are either engaged and about to get married and we're like saving money for the wedding, or we're engaged or even if we're not engaged and we're like planning on buying a house eventually, or like we're planning on getting married soon or something like that, and we want to like save money to like buy a home or something, like for a down payment on a home or whatever, and it'll make more sense for us to just consolidate bills.
Right. Like
it would have to be for some real adult reasons like that. But at this point, it's single with no fucking kids. So yeah. That's just me personally, but also out of other convenient reasons. Like so are we talking about experiences now?
No.
Okay, well, so for me, it depends on the situation.
Is it necessary?
Is it necessary
for a successful relationship to cohabitate with your partner?
I don't have any experience to say that. Like, I don't know.
All right. So do you think cohabitation leads to a lot of unsuccessful relationships?
No. I think the relationship is going to fail anyway.
Okay.
I don't think that cohabitating is what's going to cause your relationship to fail. Because in my opinion, when it comes to building a relationship, like I'm weary about shit like that in general. So when I hear niggas are like, oh, I don't want to talk to her every day. I don't want to see her every day. I don't want to be around her all the time. To me, that's an unhealthy relationship. And what I mean by that, like, no, don't smother your mate, obviously. No, y'all don't have to spend a whole bunch of time together, because even if y'all live together, like, oh, we're not talking about experiences, but even if y'all live together, y'all don't have to always be around each other. You can be in different rooms. You know what I'm saying? It's not like when you're dating where every time y'all at each other's houses, y'all are like sitting there watching movies or, you know, making dinner or like sleeping or like laying around together. Like once you actually are in a relationship, you start functioning around each other. Right. Whereas like I'm just living my life, you're like, you know, you living your life and we're in the same house, but nigga, you know what I'm saying, we might have shows or something where we sit down and watch together, or we might sit down and eat dinner together, but I'm not sitting down up under you like I used to when we first started dating, you know what I mean? Right. So I mean, I don't think it can ruin a relationship necessarily. In my opinion, I think it's that y'all already just wasn't compatible, and the relationship was not going to work anyway. Because like I said, when niggas say stuff like that to me, it's not triggering, but to me, it's just like a red flag. Because at the end of the day, like, especially at this point now, we're 30 or 30 plus or late 20s, right? So the goal in most cases, even if it's not marriage, but marriage or a serious long-term commitment to somebody, right? Eventually that is going to turn into some form of cohabitation, especially if you're getting married. I guess in the traditional sense, you guys will live together. So if we're already 29, 30, 35 and my nigga is talking about I don't want to be around you a whole lot. To me, no, you're not marriage or long-term relationship material, because you can't see yourself seeing me every day. You know what I mean? Like, how the fuck are you going to be in a relationship with somebody or be married with somebody that you don't see every day or consistently? To me, that's not indicative of any real relationship. Like, so if anything, I'm more weary of a nigga saying I would never want to see my mate consistently or live with them than a man that wants to, because it's like, if the long-term goal is marriage, or the long-term goal is something serious and a certain level of commitment, then eventually you will see me every day.
All right.
So in that regard, no, I think that's ridiculous.
Okay. So, I believe that it's not a necessity, but it is good to familiarize yourself with your partner, because you can spend all the time in the world at each other's places, but until you two actually share a common space, it's not going to really register how a person lives. Like, if, you know, maybe somebody, I don't like doing dishes. Like, I need a place with like a dishwasher so I can just do, you know, toss them in the dishwasher and shit like that. So I will let, you know, theoretically, you know, toss them in at, you know, as they go. Some people just let the shit stack up and then toss it in at one time. Like, that's kind of creepy to me, because just use the fucking dishwasher. Like, you can put dishes in the dishwasher without just letting them stack up in the sink. We still got to use the sink and shit like that. So those little things you have to actually account for, because shit like that builds up and festers. So you got to kind of get familiar with how somebody does those type of habits. And it really gets down into like little minute shit, like the type of toilet paper they use, the type, paper towel and shit like that. Some people just buy toilet paper from like the dollar store and shit like that and use it. I'm not that type of person. So
wait.
What?
What are you saying? Are you saying?
I'm saying those.
You saying those are the things that will fuck up cohabitating?
No, I'm saying those are the type of things that cohabitating gives to you. By being in the same place as both people, as somebody else, you learn their habits, or their characteristics as far as living goes. Because you can be the greatest person in the world to me, but if your living habits aren't up to par, I don't think this is going to work. You get what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah, okay, yeah. But I guess I don't think that. To me, I feel like that's worse. I would rather, like, I'm super neat, right? I would rather know that you fucking trifling when we dating than get married and then come to your house and be like, oh, this nigga's fucking disgusting. Like,
right, but see, that's the thing. We always talk about how people put on their best face in the early parts of dating and everything like that. So every time you come over,
I guess that's what I'm saying. Yeah. If you aren't cohabitating, that's the point I'm making. So like, if you get in a relationship with somebody you never cohabitate, that nigga could be every time you come over just cleaning up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This nigga could be shit. You not over there long term. So this nigga could be, shit, like how my brother used to clean up and throwing cups in the fucking closet and pushing clothes under the bed. You know what I'm saying? Like, before you come over, because this nigga's a fucking slob. But if you live there, he only can pretend for so long until he's back to taking his clothes off at the door.
Right.
In the living room.
Like I said, it's not a necessity, but it is very, very good to have that kind of cohabitative situation going on. It might not even be long term. It could be, hey, my lease is up. Can I, I'm going to be here for like 3 months and shit till I get.
Yeah, this girl was saying, she was like, I wouldn't cohabitate, but I would want to, like, maybe where I'm over there for weeks at a time. And she's like, to me, I mean, I feel her. And she's like, I guess I could see you long term. Like, who's going to keep that up for weeks? I'm like, I feel like, nigga, you go on vacation for a week. I can act neat for for 2 weeks and try to actually lift the toilet seat up when I pee, like, for 2 weeks until you leave. Like, but that's the kind of shit she was saying, like, if I, maybe if I stay over there, like, staying over there long term would give me the same benefits, or, the same getting to know you as living with the person. And I don't necessarily agree with that. But I mean, to each his own, honestly. Like, I would prefer to live with my maid, at least for some bit of time. Maybe if it's just like a year up into the wedding, or a year building a house, or a year and us trying to save to buy a house, or even just a year. You know what I'm saying? I would do that even before we got married, or eventually I feel like the goal is cohabitation, because the goal is a serious relationship.
Right.
Unless you are open in an open relationship, or poly, or I think the motherfuckers live together too. Unless you in a sister-wife situation, I really don't know. But in most situations, eventually the couple will live together. Even people who are not getting married, people who just decide to be in long-term domestic partnerships.
Yeah, I mean,
the goal is still cohabitation.
It's a lot of benefits to it. It's just logistically more beneficial to cohabitate with your partner.
Yeah, even financially.
So,
and sexually.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the way you just said that so loud, it's like, yeah, financially and sexually.
I'm just saying, like, and out of convenience. Are we talking about experiences here?
Yeah, you could. What are some of your nightmare stories, or what are some of your good experiences? We're doing the yin and yang. What are your good experiences?
I wasn't necessarily about to give a good or bad. I was just saying, like, in general, like, I feel like people cohabitate for different reasons. So in the one situation I had, where I guess I had 1.5 times of cohabitating, but I don't really remember because we weren't really cohabitating. We both moved into my parents. So I don't know if that counts. But yeah, like, it depends on for what reasons. Like, for me, when me and Noel decided to cohabitate, like, it happened out of convenience. And what I mean by convenience is this: like, our work schedules were so just so dramatically different, and it was kind of like it was just one of those things that was like not inevitable, but it was one of those things that was like and what I mean by for convenience is because like our schedules were such that if we did not live together, if we weren't coming home to each other, we wasn't gonna see each other like that because of how our schedules were.
I actually remember this conversation very vividly.
I do too.
Do you want me to share?
What?
Share with the class. So basically, she said, Casey said to me, "Hey, you're here all the time. Be here all the time."
Damn, I don't remember that. I got game though.
It's like okay.
I got hella game.
It's like okay.
I don't even remember that conversation though. I just remember you coming for.
That was the gist of it.
Like I think we went on Christmas break and you came and you just like never left, and then we just like suddenly just started going to get your shit from the house.
It was Thanksgiving, actually.
Was it Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Oh damn, I thought it was Christmas break. All right.
Yeah, so you just be here all the time, man.
But I mean, yeah, because I think at the time, honestly, we weren't spending a ton of time together. I think you were coming over Fridays or Saturdays night?
Sunday.
No, it wasn't. It was like Saturday night.
Yeah.
I think. So it's like our schedules were so different. We only had one day off in common. It was Sunday.
Just 1 day off.
And then, well, yeah, you only had 1 day off. I had 3 months. We only had 1 day off in common. It was Sunday. And then I got off at fucking 3 o'clock in the morning on Friday. So it's like we just really didn't see each other. So like we saw each other like I got off at 3 o'clock in the morning. Then we had like all Sunday. Then it was like back to work for both of us the next day after that. So it was just like we didn't really see each other like that. And then shit at first, because we used to go back and forth, because I think sometimes I used to come over to your house on Sunday. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like we were going back and forth, and it was just like we literally saw each other like 1.5 days a week. And so it was just like if we weren't coming home to each other, like me getting off work and him being there, we really didn't have the opportunity to see each other like that. So it just it just like at the time made sense.
Right.
Like if we want to spend time together, we're gonna have to make time. And unless it, you know what I'm saying? Because what the fuck else? It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Like I'm not gonna keep asking this man that get off at a fucking 11 to come to my house at 3 o'clock in the morning every single day. So it was just like it just made more sense for him to be there. You know what I mean? So like it kind of happened like that. So that's why I said it really depends on the situation and the person and why. Because for us, it made sense because like if that like the other alternative was us having a relationship where we seen each other 1 time a week. Right. You know what I mean? So it's like that didn't make any sense.
That's definitely tricky to do. I mean, it's doable, but at the same time, it's kind of it doesn't really give you the complete experience.
Yeah.
Like it creates the missing aspect. And I guess that's the bad part of cohabitating. A lot of times you get into a routine or pattern to where I know I've done this a lot. You feel like you don't really miss your partner because your partner's always there.
I mean, but is that really necessary?
I mean, I think missing people is very, very necessary.
Because even, I guess, like, when I say, like, I'm always looking at the bigger picture. I'm always looking at, like, eventually you will live together. So, like, I guess I'll miss you. Like, because missing you doesn't necessarily have to be long term. You know what I mean? You can, like, damn, like... See, now I think that it was a little different for us because, like, even though we don't work together, we work in the same place at the time. So it was just like, I still seen you throughout the day. So it wasn't too much where I think that's a difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you are 2 people and y'all cohabitating, I think it might be different if you can be like, damn, how was your day? I missed you today. I didn't get to see you, but I seen this nigga at work. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we didn't have that
all day.
So with that being the case, like, it wasn't a point in time where it was like, damn, like, how was your day? What did you do today? Did you have a good day, a good bad day? Because we already talked about that at work. Now, I will say, like, it worked out in different ways. Like, some couples talk on the phone a lot, or some couples text a lot. Me and Hendrix, because we've seen each other, we live together, and we like seeing each other off and on at work, that we didn't really communicate unless it was like stuff like, you need something, you want me to bring something home, what are we eating for dinner, what should I grab from the store? Like, that was mostly our communication because we seen each other at work and we seen each other at home. Right. So we wasn't a couple that had to text and talk all day because we saw each other enough. So I feel like it happens in different capacities. Like, some people talk all day. We didn't have to talk all day because we got the luxury of seeing each other or being able to communicate in some capacity. And kind of like what I was referencing earlier, like, we didn't have a really bad cohabitating setup at all. Like, because we managed to still be individuals in our relationship because, like, he played the game or he watched wrestling, and it was like, it would be times where I would be in the room watching TV for hours, watching Netflix or whatever, like, on the days that we had off, which wasn't a lot, and he would be, at work, you know, whatever, and literally it would just be like, oh, you know, he would be at work or he would be in the living room playing a game, and it's like we would take like, you know, after 3 or 4 hours, he would get up and come and lay in bed with me for 5 minutes, or I would get up and sit out there with him for 5 minutes, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I'm about to go back and watch my show. I'm like, oh, I'm about to go back on the game. Like, but it was like healthy because we wasn't just sitting up under each other all day. It was just like, okay, I want to watch this. I'm gonna go in there and watch this. I'm about to play the game. I'm gonna play the game, or I'm gonna watch wrestling. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Like, so we had that level of separation. Like, it would be times where we didn't really sit with each other until we decided to come out and eat dinner. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like stuff like that. So I was like, it's not like it's this overbearing, overwhelming amount of attention and stuff together.
Right.
And I think that's why it has such a negative connotation. Like, damn, bitch, I'm tired of you. Because I don't feel like it was ever like that. Because it was like, all right, I'm going to room. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever.
Yeah, and I think what I was saying is like subconsciously, like you don't have those feelings of, hey, I haven't seen this person in a while.
And we did. That's why I was like, okay, I'm going to go in the living room and see what he's doing.
This is like, yeah, but you know what I'm saying?
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like.
So, do you have any nightmare stories? I know we're talking about me, so what's some nightmare? What did I do? What did I do? I got some not necessarily from you, but like you said, I have more experience with cohabitating.
Yes, you do have more experience with cohabitating than me.
A nightmare story that's very, very.
I don't really have too many nightmare stories. I guess the only thing I would say is like having a good understanding of how y'all want to do the bills is important, and that's very important, obviously. And then cleaning, like, I mean, it's minor stuff. Like, I don't think it's never nightmare stories. I think Noah has had me fall in the toilet about 15 times from not putting the toilet seat down. But outside of stuff like that, like, it was literally like it could have been on some shit on a cartoon where it was just like going get him in the morning. No, like, oh my god, like, why didn't you? Like, I'm in the toilet, like, again, like, why didn't fuck you put the toilet seat down? Like,
why didn't you check
that? Yeah, nigga. Like, so it was really stuff like that. Like, I feel like I remember that, like, it was almost something off TV, literally me yelling damn near like every morning, every couple weeks, like, no, I'm in the toilet. Like, why didn't you put the, like, you know, you wake up, you go for that first pee, you're not really looking, like, I barely can see, I'm like yawning, go put your pants down, go sit on the toilet, oh my god, you falling in, you're not really fucking thinking about it, so it was just like, oh my god, no, really, like, it was just stuff like that, but it wasn't anything like extremely traumatic. Like I said, talk about bills, talk about how y'all want to take care of responsibilities like that, make sure you have a clear, concise understanding of things like that, and like cleaning, like, it's certain things where just like, he got a lot better with it, but like, I'm super like neat. Like, I'm not gonna let dishes sit in the sink. I'm not gonna let this. And like, so it was like, okay, once it was certain things where it's like, okay, nigga, you gotta do this how I would do it. Or, you know, certain things like that. Like, no, when you finish cooking, you need to wash the dishes. Like, don't cook and then go sit on the game. Like, no, wash the dishes. Like, I don't like just sit in the sink. Like, stuff like that. But I feel like that's normal stuff that you work through and, you know, they get better or whatever like that. Like, I don't think it's any, like, deal breaker, traumatic ass shit. But that kind of shit of, like, falling in the toilet and, like, trying to get this nigga to wash dishes.
Yeah, I definitely think it needs to be talked about and planned out beforehand. And one thing I will say is if you can cohabitate in a neutral area, do that.
Oh, yeah. That's good, too. Yeah.
Because a lot of things you know, if somebody moves into my place, I have my setup. So now I have to change my setup for you. And that can be problematic. Like, you know.
Yeah, that is the one thing I do regret. It's like not having drawers and shit.
People like putting, you know, certain things in certain places. And that's not where I put things. Speaking of my nightmare story to wrap this up. So, on the topic of bills, I had a situation where I was cohabitating and, you know, it was, you know how you get those, like, early week bills? Like, you know, well, not even early, like midweek bills. Like, you get a bill on Wednesday. Something's due on Wednesday. So, you go through all your Friday, you know, all the shit you got to pay off during the weekend and shit. And you know something's coming up. So, this particular month, we had 2 things come up at the same time. Those 2 things were our electric bill and our cable bill. Now, oh jeez, it's about to make me mad all. But so you know, I'm like, all right, the electric bill and cable bill is coming up. So here goes the money to the electric bill. Okay, so I gave my partner at the time the money for the electric bill, but my partner at the time was also laid off of work. So you know, they were watching TV. So yeah, to my surprise, I think it was like the next day I got a call that the power was off in the apartment. I'm like, wait, why the fuck would the power be off in the apartment? Like,
I didn't even know they turned the power off that fast.
so like, I definitely gave you the money to pay the energy bill. Like, oh, well, I paid the cable bill because the cable was due, and they cut the cable off last night, so I paid the cable bill. It's like, well, you can't watch television without fucking electricity. Like, what the fuck? So that's my nightmare story, and that's why you need to have a plan. Have all your shit mapped out. Have both of y'all incomes, structured to where you know what's due on this date and that date. You know how y'all gonna do. Yeah, just be planned out. If you plan it out, it shouldn't be too bad. It is a good thing to do, especially if you're trying to have a long-standing relationship. If this is somebody that you see yourself with for a long time, try it out, test it out, see how it works. But more importantly, if you feel like, and this is something that is not often talked about, but a lot of times you do need your own space. So you might have to go above and beyond what you wouldn't normally do. So you might have a 1-bedroom apartment because it's just us two. We don't have no kids. You know what I'm saying? We gonna sleep in the same bed, so we gonna get a 1-bedroom apartment. You might want to strive for 2 because arguments are inevitable, disputes are inevitable.
You shouldn't go to bed mad.
That's true. That is true.
You're welcome.
I don't have anything to throw at you, but that is true. But also you do need your own space in your own house, and it does get a little irritating to go back and forth between one room. So you might want to invest in a second bedroom where you can have, space. That's my only advice. It is a good thing. I've done it a couple times. I'm kind of leery to doing it again, just because I know that I like to do shit a certain way, and I don't want to put that kind of pressure on somebody again. So yeah, I mean, it is good. Yeah, all I can do is ask for you guys to give us some of your nightmare stories, give us some of your opinions on whether or not you feel like.
Tell us what you think. If you think it's necessary, if you think it's something that you want to avoid or something that you think you should do maybe before you decide to get married or whatever. I just can't imagine. I feel like that's always the goal to a certain extent. It's cohabitation. That's what I said. That's why I'm weary. Yeah, it is really. It's not marriage. It's cohabitation. Like I think that's why it's weird. I'm weary of niggas that's like, oh my God, I don't want to see you, or I don't want to talk to you, or I don't like. It's kind of like, okay, nigga, well, if you don't want to see me or talk to me consistently, then how the fuck are we even going to move forward to,
See, I've kind of transitioned into, I don't want to necessarily text or talk to you back and forth. I actually want to see you because conversations are different. Like if I'm texting you, I can be doing a multitude of other things.
I mean, but it's also times where you can't see that person. So it's like, if I can't see you, then I want to at least talk to you. I prefer, I am one of those weird people of this generation that prefer you to call me than text me. Because way too much, mainly tone of voice, is lost over text. So I prefer to talk on the phone. So if I can't see you face to face, call me. I don't want text.
I have got many a phone call based off a text from Casey.
Where I'm about to play with you.
I was being completely like, oh, so we got problems? Like, we got beef, nigga? What's up? I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I ain't like how you text me. Like, it was a text, nigga. Like, I didn't even use emojis. I just said 5 words.
And it sounds stank, nigga. Like, I don't, so I don't personally like to, text. Like, unless it's really quick or because I have to. And I don't really necessarily ever have to text. I can always talk. It's not really any time except when I'm sleeping. Or when my phone going do not disturb, which it probably is now. What time is it?
Yeah.
No, 15 more minutes. You have 15 more minutes to reach me, niggas. Yeah, so I don't really prefer texting. I like to talk on the phone if I cannot see you in person. Obviously, that would be the first. And see, but people also don't want to see you every day either, which, like I said, red flag. I don't mind seeing my significant other or, whatever, consistently. I would say at least, what would you say is normal before you are cohabitating? Like, 3 or 4 times.
What, seeing somebody?
Yeah, because that's half the 3 or 4 times.
If it's doable, yeah.
That's not really a lot. Because I'm going 4 days. That's like seeing you every other day, or especially 3 days a week. That's like every other. So Yeah, I would be weary if somebody don't want to see me every other day. Like, nigga, what the fuck you doing? What are you doing?
I want to see you in the space that I'm in. All right, you remember? Nah, man, like, you know, niggas need their vices, you know, on the visit sometimes. That's all I'm gonna say.
Coochie?
No, nigga. No. Just, look, ladies, invest in the gaming system. It'll make all the difference in the world. Keep a whole lot of niggas like that, bro. You have one right next to you.
It's a Wii. Niggas only play Xbox or fucking PlayStation 4.
I mean,
now, ladies, that's when you know you're not getting rid of a nigga.
Yeah, if he bring the game over,
once he start coming over with the game in his book bag, just know that he's staying the whole weekend. Like, he not leaving. He's not leaving.
No, once you can't disconnect, bro. Like, I gotta pack all this shit back up, take it to the no, I'm here now. Okay. So, like I said, shut the. Like I said, you know, let us know.
Yeah, let us know what you think or whatever. In the comments, or you can email us at ask2ampodcast@gmail.com. The number 2, comment on this nice little topic. Let us know what you think about cohabitation and all of that good stuff. Now, I had something that I wanted to add this week because me, Casey, I know it's ridiculous, I always get accused of man bashing. And I wanted to clear the air.
Is it ridiculous or?
It's ridiculous,
okay.
Motherfucker.
Is it just the way you come?
No, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
No, I'll agree that
this is the thing, though.
Wait. I agree that you don't man bash.
Thank you.
I
don't man bash.
You come across can sometimes be seen as demeaning, very demeaning.
Oh, too bad. Now listen, I don't man bash, and just like anybody else would say, only hit dogs holler. So, if you feel attacked by anything that I said, this is actually supposed to sound like an apology, but whatever. It's not coming off like that so far. If you feel attacked by anything that I say, just know that it's you, and it's not me. You are probably a trash bag, and I'm sorry about that, because I'm not trying to attack anybody. I'm simply just pointing out some of people's real life experiences, and honestly, no, really not. All jokes aside, it really does bother me when people try to dismiss the things that I say. Not even the things that I say, but the experiences of women, because obviously, like, your peers are doing these things. Like, women aren't pulling all of these situations out of their ass. These are things that's actually happening to them, and so I know it's not gonna happen, but I wish at one point that we could get to. At one point we get to the point of like, kind of accepting other people's experiences. Like, okay, this may or may not, this may or may not have be something that I do, but it has happened to you, and you just acknowledge other people's issues and their pain, and just not try to dismiss it. Or we can get to a point where men actually, like, instead of being defensive, you actually check the behavior of your peers, which is even less likely to happen.
BJ, get her on that episode ASAP. I know you're not doing the women this to start off the year, but I think you two will have a great conversation.
Okay. I have this excerpt book that I'm reading.
Okay.
Dear good men, you know how in school the bad kids got put in smaller classes so they could get individual attention, and the good kids kind of felt like maybe they should be bad to get recognized? That must be how you feel when we focus so much on the bad men out there. Good men get left out of the conversation completely. And you start to feel like maybe if you started being like those men, you would get noticed. I'm here to tell you that you are noticed and appreciated. Even if it doesn't seem like it, I spent a lot of years talking about what I don't want. I'm going to spend the rest of my life building what I do want. Dear good man, thank you, and don't ever change. And I have one more thing.
Okay.
Another old to good man. This is my good black man appreciation segment. Yes, I appreciate all men, but to my brothers, yes, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Even though I be thinking about the swirl sometimes because y'all be so frustrating me. I still love you guys, and I just hope that you get it right. Like, I do want to add that I'm not, like, when I say these things, I talk about experiences of mine or experiences of other people or other women, I am not saying that all men are bad. I'm not one of the people that's like, oh, all these niggas ain't shit, da-da-da-da-da. But it is. Some of these niggas are. Like, some of these niggas are out here trash. And I wish people can just acknowledge that. Like, I can understand if y'all are frustrated women and like, oh, y'all niggas is trash. If you frustrated with women being like, all you niggas suck ass, cool. That's great. But what I don't like is devaluing someone's experiences like that happened to them. You cannot say it did not. You cannot act as if they don't have the right to feel some kind of way. All of these things like that. So I just want us to acknowledge that other people's trauma and not dismiss it. And if we get to the point of holding our peers accountable, or at least acknowledging that yes, some men are trash, we'll be better off. Right? Okay.
Absolutely.
Last point. And this is what I really stand behind, because I know that it's some of y'all out there, I don't know where, but y'all out there somewhere, probably not Detroit, whatever. Y'all somewhere far, 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 Narnia, I don't know. But to the men who choose one woman when his options are 100. To the men who tell the truth when it's easy to lie. To the men who heal us instead of hurting us. Thank you. Thank you. Fucking thank you. I appreciate all of you people, all of you men that had the opportunity to be trash, that had the opportunity to lie, mislead, devalue, debase, well, all these things, and you chose to be faithful, loyal, honest, true, all of these things. Like, God bless you. And we're so grateful for you, and I wish that it was more of you, and I wish that it was more Russell Wilsons out here in the futures, but there we go. It's not. At least I ain't met him. Whatever. This is KC's anti-man bashing segment. How did I do, Hendrix?
I still need a little work, but
I'm encouraging all the good men.
It's a solid effort.
Shout out to all the good men. I see you. Not really, but I know that you exist. I haven't seen any. Actually, no. I have met some good guys. I'm trying to think who they are. I've met some good men. Hendrix is a good guy when he's not in his trash bag. He's a good guy. You know what I'm saying? I know a few other men that's like good men, right? But I know but I know some men is good. So shout out to all you good men, the one that, like I said, focus on one woman at a time, and you just want to love her and like tend to her and care for her and like protect and like provide. And I know that's a trigger word for some of you. Thank you. Salute. My hat's off to you. I got a hat on, my hood off, like, period. I hope you got a brother. All right, y'all. Hendrix, is there anything got in here, kid? Damn.
I would say weather, but that would be redundant. But it has literally snowed every day this week.
Fucking day.
And I'm tired of it. And I'm looking out the window to about 1.5 inches of snow on my car currently. And I don't like it because I gotta clean this shit off before I go. So, yeah. Let's see. It's not a car, it's a truck, nigga. It's a different, sure.
Damn, she pregnant?
Yeah, nothing's grinding my gears. Just trying to work through some internal shit and trying to be a better person, better man, you know. Best man I can be. What's grinding your gears besides the perception of man bashing from some of our peers?
Yeah, I'm just tired of people saying I man bash, because I know I don't.
That's it.
No. Honestly, it's nothing really grinding my gears. I hate all of y'all equally. No, I'm just joking. It's nothing really bothering me, honestly. I feel like it was something, but I can't remember where I put it in my phone. Therefore, it does not matter.
One thing I will say is I appreciate all of you guys. We've been doing very well lately as far as our listenership, and I appreciate you guys. Even through the technical difficulties of last week. I don't know what happened. Hopefully this week is a little bit better than you guys.
You and yours.
But yeah, thank you guys for continually supporting us, because it is, some weeks it's not easy. We've been doing this for a while, and it gets, without you guys' encouragement, it gets kind of like redundant. So please continue to encourage us. Please continue to tell us, give us our flowers. I thought you said
something positive and you sound like.
Give us our flowers while we're still here, because
monotone trash.
You know, one day we're just gonna say, yeah, no more two awkward millennials. So
I'm always gonna be awkward.
Yeah, we'll be awkward, but we won't be awkward on your
Even if people
phones.
don't think that.
Nobody thinks we're awkward.
No, I am. They don't think that you awkward.
Yeah. So, thank you guys once again.
Thanks, guys. Shout out to all the good men. Period. Be good in my DMs. Period.
Okay, that's. Never mind.
I'm just playing.
That can be something else.
Not now. You can't afford it.
If you want to slide into KC's DMs.
If you want to slide into Hendrix DMs for a small fee that you pay to me, you can do so at Noly Hendrix on all social media platforms. That's NOELL Hendrix HENDRIX. And if you want to reach me, Casey, in the place to be, you can find me at K_ in real life. That's KAY_INREELLIFE. That is on Instagram and Twitter. You can find me at KC Kyle on Facebook. And if you want to find the show, my niggas, you can find me at 2 Awkward Millennials. That is on Instagram. And the 2 a.m. podcast on Facebook and on Twitter. Yes. And if you want to email us again, last fucking time, that email is at 2ampodcast@gmail.com. The number 2. You can get in touch with us and we can reach out to you.
Also, we do have still t-shirts. Merch. Available.
And I see y'all hoes keep buying Hendrix's shirts.
Whoa.
But I got some too. So, big dick niggas, if you want to walk around like Pooh Bear, get you a nice shirt with my name on it, period, or whatever, and send me your pics. Pooh Bear pics only, if you know what that means.
Wait, what?
Wink.
Oh, wink. That's nasty.
No flaccid. All right, I'm about to go.
You're disgusting. As always,
if bitches can see you naked pictures with they pussy out in your t-shirts, why they can't send me Pooh Bear shirts?
As always, that promo code is millennial. Millennial, no S. Millennial for 20% off. 2 a.m. podcast for free shipping. Yeah, our links are in our bios. Hit the link tree up.
Yeah, period.
Appreciate it. Appreciate all of the people who have bought t-shirts.
Oh yeah, shout out to y'all.
I'm actually I actually sent a t-shirt, a hoodie out this past week. Somebody wants to use our merch as promo, so I sent one out. Thank you.
Shout out to all of y'all motherfuckers.
Thank you.
Hendrix, do you have any last words for the good?
Yes, and as always, remember millennials,
What's poppin'?
We are doomed to coexist.
Yeah. All right, guys. We will catch you next week. Oh shit, I forgot that I'm doing. Peace.
Peace.